Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is on a very serious and sensitive topic that affects many people, rape and trauma. If you find this topic triggering, please feel free to skip this video or watch it when you feel ready and safe. I want to start by saying that you are not alone. Whether you are a survivor, know someone who is, or just want to learn more to be supportive, this video is for you. It's important to recognize that everyone's journey and response to trauma are unique, and there is no right way to feel or heal. I will be sharing some of my own experiences and thoughts, but please remember that this is just one perspective. If you need help or support, I encourage you to reach out to trusted friends, family, or professional resources. Throughout this video, we'll talk about the importance of sensitivity and empathy towards others' traumas, how to support loved ones, and ways to navigate your own healing process. My hope is that by sharing this, we can create a compassionate and understanding community where everyone feels seen, heard, and supported. Please take care of yourselves while watching this, and don't hesitate to pause or stop if it becomes overwhelming. Let's dive.
One thing that I've done is I could have been on the path of revenge. I could have tried to get people back or hurt people that have hurt me, and it's no, let that shit go. Fuck those people. Get that out of your life. Fuck that. No. Feel it, and it hurts, and maybe even ruminate a bit about it for a little bit, maybe not as much as I used to. Why was I doing that? I was hurting myself more. Delete the fucking messages, get rid of them. And for example, when I was sexually assaulted, I could have gone out of my way to make that man's life a living hell. I could have gone out of my way to wish death upon him and all of these things, but then I'm the one that suffers. Why would I want to continue this suffering? And so instead, for 4 years, I decided to drown myself in alcohol and drugs and with people I didn't really resonate with on a deep level. But that only led me to more pain and more sadness and more experiences that I don't remember, and that overall did not fulfill me in the ways that I'd like to be fulfilled. And so I'm sharing my stories because I want people to heal from the pain that I've experienced and hopefully take the advice that I have so they don't have to experience that same pain. It is so much easier to let those people go, and I promise you, they're living in their own fucking hell. They have to live with the things that they've done. So you don't have to do that for them. And it's such a beautiful time to recognize that, especially for girls and men that can relate to trauma in the way that I've felt, the deep and utter powerlessness of what it feels like. And even admitting that you've been raped, for example, it feels so weird. It feels like shit, man. And it took me I just started going to therapy this year, right? It took me 4 years to admit that to a professional, and took me at least 3 years to tell anyone, because I couldn't even deal with it. And every single person that I told prior to me telling my best friend told me that I wanted that. And I literally convinced myself that it was my fault. And I just want to let you know it's not your fault. It's not your fault. And these things have to happen, and we have to share our stories so people don't have to feel so alone. And just know your story, you know the truth. And this is really hard for me to talk about, obviously. But it's caused a lot of pain in my life, especially with men, and it's so nice to release that pain and hopefully help other people. But it feels so much better when you get it out of your soul, and just make sure when you do, like, tell it to the right people that make you feel safe, and hopefully a professional. You know, I told an ex-boyfriend, 2 ex-boyfriends, and they actually told me that, oh, you probably wanted that. The first person I ever told me that, and that fucking hurt, man. It made me really think about it. It's like, did I somehow want that? It's like, no, I didn't fucking want that, you know? You don't just, like, wake up and be like, oh, I want to get raped today. So, yeah, I want to share that story to remind women that you're not alone, men that you're not alone, and none of that should ever be okay. And I want to remind you that it's much easier to process your own shit, and this is something that's, like, obviously still heavy for me, because it's weird. Like, it's weird to try and comprehend and dissect, and I have let it go, you know. I know that man has to live in his own pain and hell. Just remember, like, don't allow those people to manipulate you either. Like, there was, for so long, it was so weird. Like, I was 18 years old convincing myself that this was my fault, and, like, oh, I wanted this. He was the manager of my restaurant, and I had to go to work the next morning. Like, the morning that I woke up, I had to go to work that day and pretend like nothing happened. And so I've gotten really good at putting on that face. And it feels much better to not have to put on that face anymore. And I pray that I'm able to resource myself financially so I never have to deal with any of that ever again. I don't really know why all this came up. But yeah, the craziest part about that fucking story is I chose to live with him after that. And I guess that's when I really started shaming myself for thinking it was my fault. Not, maybe I did want it, you know. But after processing and everything like that, I realized it wasn't because I wanted it, and it wasn't because I wanted to live with him either. The hurt inner little girl inside of me was so hurt, and she wanted to look him in the eyes every single day to know he knew what the fuck he did. And you want to know what's so funny is the day that I confronted him about it, he said, Trin, I'm so sorry. I don't remember. And he was bawling his eyes out. And it was a fucking lie. That man fucking remembers. And, you know, when you finally reach this pace, especially in sobriety, you can feel when somebody's lying to you. I'm expressing this to you today to help you realize you're not alone in your pain. And I promise you, it'll get better. And that person has to live in their own hell every single waking moment, so no need to make it worse for them, trust me. Especially when you put on your bad bitch face and you decide that that person's never going to ever see you again. Overall, I'm just speaking about this story because please, beautiful women, beautiful men out there, do not rely on anyone to come save you, to help you heal. You're just gonna disappoint yourself. And somehow I continue to do that. It's like, how many more times can I just have such a good heart and love so like openly? It's like people say to say, oh, stay open, and it's like, I'm open.